Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior. For this video, I want to talk to you guys about 10 things that Japanese people don't do themselves despite them stereotypically being associated with Japan and or Japanese people. Number 1. Cosplay. Japanese people don't actually cosplay. They don't dress up in costumes. Despite the pictures that you've seen and the fact that cosplay for some reason seems to be associated with being a weeboo, especially if you're talking to some random angry Chinese or white guy online. No, Japanese people don't normally wear costumes even for holidays, and when they do, it's actually seen as an American thing. So for example, when they wear costumes dressed up as their favorite characters, they associate this as doing an American type activity, not a Japanese thing. They are not the inventors of cosplays and costumes, and you can tell by the way that they do them. They are some of the worst, most mediocre amateur cosplayers I've ever seen, which is fine because I am too. I just do it for fun and enjoyment. But you would think that Japan, since this is where people think of, cosplay and whatnot, they would be the best of the best. The cosplayers that you see and love online that are of Asian descent are 9 times out of 10 from China and or Taiwan. They're normally Taiwanese, Chinese, and sometimes even Filipino, but not Japanese. Ironically, nobody ever complains about them not being the right race to do the cosplay, but that's a whole nother story. So, or shall I say ethnicity. Yeah, that was really surprising to me because I figured here, you would find the best costumes too. But the costume stores here suck. They have some that do like super detailed, like, you can pay a lot of money, like thousands of dollars, and they'll customize one for you, but you're not gonna find a good costume shop like how you would expect to. There's better cosplayers and there's better costume shops available in America than there are in Japan. And another reason why cosplay is not really a big thing, I mean, look at the word for it. In Japanese, it's literally in katakana, which is what they use for mostly English, aka foreign words. They don't have their own word for it. They do have a Japanese word for costumes, but you get what I'm saying. The word used for this is an English word. They don't even have their own. I was very disappointed and very surprised to find out that they don't really cosplay. They admire cosplayers though, and they think it's cool and great regardless of what your race is as long as you're attractive, but they don't really do it so much themselves. Number 2, Japanese people don't listen to Japanese stuff. They don't watch Japanese movies or TV shows. They don't listen to Japanese music. You trying to impress people, tell them that, oh, I love AKB48 or Baby Metal, whatever that crap music is. Sorry, you guys. What's the name? Carrie, Pamu, whatever those people are. Yeah. They're not popular here in Japan. They have their little phases and whatnot, and yes, they do make millions of dollars. Don't get me wrong. They have money, they sell out, trust me. But they're not really popular. It's the equivalent of like, how can I say, what's that chick's name? JoJo Siwa, whatever that girl's name is. It's like going to America and being like, oh, I love JoJo. It's like, yeah, maybe 8-year-olds and 5-year-olds do, but you kind of don't expect an adult to say this. So it's not a matter of only kids listen to this music. It's just a matter of they're not really interested in their own music. They prefer foreign music by far. They normally watch, American TV shows on Netflix. They watch American movies with subtitles. They prefer being, watching and listening and even reading American stuff. They read American books. They do not watch anime. They do not read manga, etc. Yes, there are some people that do, but when it comes to like serious stuff, like what they really do during their free time, for leisure and whatnot, they're a lot more likely to watch, listen, and read something that's American. They're not into J-pop and J-rock. They can probably talk to you more about American artists than they can Japanese. When I ask my friends what their favorite music is, even my coworkers, they always give old American artists, like people like Avril Lavigne here for some strange reason. I assume it's because she's a white girl with blue eyes or whatever. I love Avril Lavigne, don't get me wrong. I loved her back in the day. But she wasn't as popular to have pretty much taken over Japan as she apparently did. They love her here, both guys and girls. I have yet to meet someone here that didn't know who she is. I can easily go to America and find plenty of people that have no idea who that girl is. She made a few songs and pretty much disappeared off of the face of the earth, stopped making music for a while, and then even when she's tried to make comebacks, her songs didn't really do that great. Nothing ever compared to her Skater Boy and I forgot the name of the other songs. But yeah, my friends love asking me to sing her music at karaoke, and I'm like, guys, I only know like 2 of her songs. I don't know anything else, and I'm not a good singer, so yeah. Number 3, they don't wear Japanese fashion. So all that punk rock, Lolita, Gairu fashions, and Harajuku type stuff you see people wearing, you're gonna walk outside looking like a freak, getting laughed at, or people will think you're cute and take pictures. Do whatever you want to do. I ain't trying to pressure you into not being yourself. But I'm just saying that when it comes to Japanese people, they don't wear that type of stuff. That's like so 2001. It's not fashionable here. You just kind of look weird when you wear it. Similarly to costumes, you would think it'd be easy to find Lolita, punk rock fashion, etc., but it's actually very hard. You cannot easily find Lolita shops, etc., because once again, it's not fashionable, not in style. People don't want to look like a rebel, you know, wearing punk rock clothing, etc. Do people wear it? Yes. It's mostly young people. It's not fashionable. It's not a cool thing to do and or wear. Do your own thing. I like this type of fashion myself. I'm just saying that it's not something that Japanese people do and or wear, despite the fact that you associate this with Japanese people and or Japan. So your love for Lolita fashion, your love, you know, for manga or their pop music, they actually prefer yours. So you're busy trying to impress people and be Japanese by liking their stuff, and they hate their own stuff and they love yours. And they will openly tell you, oh, Japanese music is bad. For example, I have yet to meet a single guy that actually likes Japanese music. They would normally name, like, you know, whatever the mainstream rock band is for that year that got a gig with a commercial and everybody knows them, so their concerts sell out for 1 year. But like, they can never name an artist where they have consistently listened to that person for years. They idolize anyone who's famous for 2 seconds. So if you get a gig on a major commercial deal and the song sounds good, everybody loves you, like Wanima, which I actually liked Wanima before it became popular to like him. But again, now it's mainstream, so now everybody loves him. He has 1 or 2 years of popularity, and then somebody else is going to get another gig for a commercial, and they're going to forget about Wanima, and life goes on. That's how it is in Japan. Japanese artists are like Disney Channel stars. Everyone loved Hannah Montana for 2 seconds. We tried to let her do her own thing, and then she kind of just fell off the radar, and it's like, whatever. People are more interested in her crazy lifestyle than they are of her actual music. That's pretty much how it is in Japan. Number 4, One Piece is not as popular as people keep trying to make it seem. One Piece is pretty much the Mickey Mouse of anime. I know I'm gonna piss some people off. I know. But to be honest, a lot of people have tried to convince themselves that One Piece is good, even gave it a chance to begin with. After its horrible run on 4Kids TV, people decided, no, I wanna get into One Piece because I heard it's #1 in Japan, so I'm gonna watch it subtitled. And they started to like it a little bit more because there is a huge difference between the two. I am aware. But One Piece is not as popular as you're thinking. Most people only even know of it because it's plastered everywhere, and most convenience stores have whole shelves lined with just their books. So you're very likely to have read a little bit of it and gotten a few laughs out of it. However, people don't normally say that this is their favorite anime from childhood. But if you're asking them, like, now as an adult to pick something, they'll normally say One Piece just because that's the most consistent title that you can find anywhere. They have, I don't know how to explain it, but like sponsorships, branding deals, or whatever you want to call it, where there's One Piece stuff on pretty much everything. Lots of kids products, lots of teaching stuff. They have whole sections inside of toy stores with just their stuff. They have whole sections of books at, you know, libraries, convenience stores, etc. with just their stuff. Everything is plastered in it. It's just like Mickey Mouse with Disney. People don't really like Mickey Mouse that much in America. Believe it or not, think about it. People don't normally like Mickey Mouse himself, but people like Disney Channel as a whole. I would argue that, you know, like I said the same thing about Winnie the Pooh, but even Pooh Bear, I would say, is more popular than Mickey Mouse. But when people think of Disney, Mickey Mouse is the first thing that comes to mind. He's literally the logo for Disney. And with that said, people like, you know, Mickey Mouse because his face, he's the poster child of Disney. It's not a matter of Mickey Mouse, the show, actually being popular itself, although I do personally like it. But again, we're not talking about me or other people, we're talking about the majority. And Japan is basically the same way. We can argue this for Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, which I've said before, and I ain't gonna get into argument with you nerds, I know y'all gonna come after me. But I would say the same thing about those two shows. We all only like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon because that's pretty much all we had on TV at the time. We didn't have these other shows. If they were to release Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon now, like anytime after, I want to say 2008 to present, it would have gotten zero exposure. It would have gotten canceled before it made it to season 3, both of them, and nobody would know of these shows basically, and they probably wouldn't have even gotten total translations. They are available now pretty much every language because they're, you know, recognizable around the world. They're very popular, but it's just because they've become the poster child of anime, not because they're necessarily good titles. I know I hurt you guys' childhood. They're my favorites from my childhood too, but just being real, DBZ, Sailor Moon could not stand a chance compared to the new titles that are out now. They are responsible for the inspiration for a lot of other ones, but a lot of people took those ideas and made much better anime, cartoons, books, etc. off of that. Just saying. Number 5. Japanese people don't like Japanese food. Now, before you get all freaked out, no, I don't mean it the way that you're thinking, but I mean they don't like the stereotypical food that we think of. So for example, you thinking that your love for cup noodles or Pocky is making you Japanese. It's really not. Most people here don't buy, like, or even eat Pocky. Those dog biscuits are garbage to most people here. Also, people don't really like cup noodle. Cup noodle is poor man's food, just like how it is in America. Do people buy it and eat it? Yes, but it's normally men because they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to use anything besides a microwave. And a lot of guys here don't even own a microwave inside of their house. And mind you that microwave and cup noodle, you're not supposed to do that. And most people here, use a kettle, unlike what we do in America. But this is nothing new for you Brits. But back on subject, they don't really eat that type of stuff. Do they like ramen? Yes, they like real ramen, but real ramen does not taste anything like that garbage cup noodle crap. And real Japanese dessert does not taste like those nasty dog biscuits. I'm not personally a big fan of their real dessert either, but it definitely tastes better than Pocky. They have lots of different Pocky flavors here in Japan that don't exist in America, so there are better ones, and there are some addictive ones that I've talked about before, like I really like the strawberry one. But once again, it's not so popular here, and people don't normally say those are their favorite things to eat and or desserts. So those of you guys that have paid for those like Japan crate box type things, not only are you being overcharged and cheated for what you're getting, but that's not really what people like to eat here either. It would be the equivalent of me, buying you a can of Spam and, corn chili and saying that this is an American, crate. Enjoy American food. That's basically what you're getting. So that's another story. Ain't trying to hurt nobody's business, just being real. Number 6. Japanese people aren't as obsessed with white skin despite what you may have seen and or read. Now don't get me wrong, yes, having pale skin, light colored eyes, light colored hair, etc. Those are all seen as positive features still. Do not get me wrong as far as that goes. They're desired. But people don't go out of their way to avoid tans and whatnot like how they used to back in the day. Yes, you still see people wearing umbrellas and wearing all black in the summer to try to avoid getting a tan, but you also see a ton of people, in fact arguably a lot more people, that aren't doing all of this. The sun is really hot here, so I don't blame them. I've even had to use an umbrella at times, and I'm black. And I really hate doing it because it makes me really self-conscious, because it looks, in my eyes, it looks weird. It's already a little too late for me. I'm already black. So, I can get darker. I have pictures of myself where I look like I am dark skinned, like I just bleached myself, but I didn't. I just tan really, really hard. My skin gets really, really dark. And with that said, while I can tan, most people don't know this that are not black. They just assume or they don't say anything, but this is how it goes on in my mind. I look ridiculous. It's like you're using an umbrella. But aren't you already black? Are you trying to avoid getting darker? It just kind of makes it a little bit strange. But yeah, that's all a whole nother story. Anyway, yes, people do try to avoid getting tanned still, but they don't make such a big deal out of it, and they don't really praise people so much for having pale skin. If you are talking to someone that likes you, you're at a bar, girl's trying to compliment you, or you're talking to, a guy or whatever, of course they'll comment on the fact oh, you have such beautiful pale skin, etc. But people aren't gonna come to you, your skin is so pale, oh my god. That type of stuff is not gonna happen to you. So again, do people like it? Yeah, but they're not gonna make that big of a deal out of it. Look at me. I'm the total opposite of what's considered as attractive in Japan, but the way that people treat me, both in real life and online, I would never know that. I've had a huge confidence boost from being here. People are obsessed with pretty much everything about me, including my dark skin. So do not worry about those things. I already made videos on that, but I am surprised because I thought that everyone in the summertime was gonna have out an umbrella, and that I was gonna, stand out like a sore thumb by, both being dark and not having an umbrella. So yeah, they don't really do all that anymore. That tradition is dying. It's mostly just older women who are heavy set and wrinkly, which I don't really see the purpose in it at that point, but I don't know, I guess to avoid getting cancer, whatever the case is. Excuse me, my hair got tangled. So yeah, people can do whatever they want with their body, their skin. I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm just saying that it's not as big of a thing as people have made it out to be. The culture of doing that, the tradition of doing that has significantly died down. People don't make a big deal about pale skin. People don't make a big deal about trying to maintain it. Whitening products still exist here. People do still prefer pale skin. Do not get me wrong. But again, it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. That's all I am saying. Number 7. Japanese people are not really as polite as you guys keep trying to give them credit. All of the bowing and saying I'm sorry and whatnot, it's just out of formality. They don't really mean that they're sorry. When they're bowing, it's not really them being so grateful and thankful for you. It's just culture. They mean their bows and apologies as much as we mean oh, how are you? After we have just met someone that we don't give a crap about and don't care about their response or answer. It's the same thing. It's just out of formality. We've been taught that after we say hi, that you have to say it's nice to meet you, and you also have to say how are you. I might not have really wanted to meet you, so I don't think it's nice, and I probably don't really give a crap of whether you're doing good or bad, because for starters, it doesn't affect me, and if you're doing bad, now it's an awkward situation because I can't help you, and I kind of don't want to help you. It's the same thing in Japan, no difference. They're just taught to bow culturally. I've had cashiers that have been total jerks to me and or that did the bare minimum, but yet they still bow to me after finishing my transaction. I've also had cashiers that didn't do it, but that were extremely nice during the transaction. So don't take it as a personal thing in a good and or a bad way. Trust me, it doesn't really matter. It's just a formality thing. It's a cultural difference. It's the way that they say their, P's and Q's, so to speak. Same thing goes for apologizing. It's generally a way to avoid confrontation. It's not a matter of them really meaning that they're sorry for inconveniencing you or that they're sorry for bumping into you or whatever. Not to say that people can't do these things, but again, that's not really the reason why it's being done. So all of the sumimasens or sumasens or gomenasai type stuff like that and the, whatever type talk, it's just formality. Them greeting you, them bowing to you, the deep bows, etc. They're all just formality. You want to know a good story? My boyfriend, I'm sorry you guys, but we're close now. I can be real with you guys. Got into a huge argument and almost broke up with my boyfriend before he left for Vietnam. And he came to my house in the rain. He was looking so fine. I wish I took a picture of him. He literally came to my door. I opened it. He forced himself inside because I wasn't going to let him in. He bought me a bunch of food, and he got down on his hands and knees wearing his suit. He just came back from work and had to go back to do some other stuff too to prepare to leave, and begged for my forgiveness. Now, of course, in my American mind, it's like, he's really sorry. And he was really sorry, don't get me wrong. But again, him doing it wasn't because he was worshiping me and he just wants to keep his black token girlfriend. But it's formality. When they're really sorry about something, when they really want to make up for something, they apologize this way. And the lower and deeper the bow, the more apologetic and sorrier they're supposed to be. So for me, it's like, no, get up, please stand up. But for him, it's like, no, I want you to know that I'm serious. I'm very sorry. I mean it. So that's that. Again, it's a cultural difference. Them bowing to you, don't be so impressed or shocked by it. It's just a cultural difference. And I'm not mean to my boyfriend, trust me. I try not to be. Number 8. Similarly to a previous one I did, I believe it was at number 2, Japanese people also don't really like Korean stuff either. They don't really listen to Korean music, they don't listen or watch Korean TV or movies, etc., despite the fact that you hear and read about that online. Yes, young people sometimes do. There are lots of young people that are into that, but people that are like, young adults or anywhere from like their, early 20s, I want to say like maybe like 21 to 30 up, whatever, they're not into Korean stuff. They don't watch Korean TV. There's a lot of problems that people have with Korean and Chinese people. Do not get me wrong, everyone here doesn't hate them, but they prefer American media for lots of reasons. And I agree after watching their TV. Their actors are really bad, despite the fact that when it comes to anime and whatnot, we think the voice actors are great. But for some reason, when you're actually watching them act out stuff, they are the worst actors in the world. It's like you're watching like the soap opera shows that you get when you don't have cable. That's what all Japanese shows are like. But I guess that kind of is when you don't have cable, because cable in Japan is kind of free. So yeah, you get free quality TV as well. They don't listen to or watch Korean stuff. They're not into K-drama, K-pop, etc. People know the names of big artists like BTS and, Big Bang and stuff like that, but they're not really into them. They can't normally name multiple songs. They know very little, and they don't care much about them. They still prefer American stuff, and I'd argue that they might even prefer Japanese music before they would say they like Korean. Young people, very young people do, and their concerts still sell out, but again, it's not really popular here. It's Disney type stuff. Number 9. This one broke my heart, but most Japanese people don't own a kimono or yukata. This was shocking to me. So, you know, like the traditional like little outfits that they wear for like festivals and things like that. Yeah, most people don't own one. They're very expensive. And of course, as you grow and get older, you know, gain weight, lose weight, etc., depending on how it was designed and or made, it's possible that you can no longer wear it. Also, they can get damaged and they require special cleaning, and there's all type of stuff to it. And of course, if you have multiple siblings or a big family, or you grew up in a family that didn't have money or that didn't go to these festivals, you had no reason to really own one. So yeah, most people actually don't have one of these. So another big reason why people don't care. It's not cultural. The whole cultural appropriation thing, I'll make another video on that, but FYI, cultural appropriation is not wearing or using something from another culture. It's a matter of doing it in a disrespectful way and also being a hypocrite with it. So for example, people that now want to wear, you know, hairstyles or makeup that makes you look like something, or get surgery that makes you look like something that was once not desirable when it was on a different race, now all of a sudden people want to, you know, take credit for it and have those things for, you know, their own whatever. I can't even explain it to you guys. You get what I'm saying. Long story short, Japan doesn't have history of dealing with white people or any other race of people within their own country, making fun of and dehumanizing them, whereas black people have and or did. I personally do not own a kimono. I am actually in the process of getting one, and I will make a video on that later. But I'm just letting you guys know. Nothing wrong with inspiration. I don't care about people here trying to be black or trying to be white, as long as you're not also trying to be racist. Do what you want as you please. I'm glad that you admire black culture. I saw a guy at the dollar store the other day. I tweeted about it. He actually had on a hat that said "Black is beautiful," which was really funny because I have no idea if he knew what that meant. But I wanted to like ask him where he got it from. But anyway, and it was really weird because like I could tell he wanted to talk to me, but like he was afraid to talk to me. But I can't talk to him anyway because I have a boyfriend. And he wasn't my type, but I still would have wanted to talk to him. I thought that it was cool and cute. I really wanted a picture of him, and I told my boyfriend about it. So that is that. So also adding to number 9, Japanese people also don't normally go to those, you know, summer festivals, etc. type stuff. They've all probably been to one and they all know of them, but they don't traditionally go to these things on a yearly, regular, annual basis. They're nice, cool, and fun, and most people have been to at least a few of them throughout their lifetime, but it's similar to like how New Year's Eve is in America. Think about it. If you live in a major city, you've probably gone downtown for, you know, the 4th of July and or New Year's Day one time or a few times, and then it gets old. It's a tourist activity. Well, this isn't really a tourist activity per se, but these little festivals and stuff are really just popular for those that are in relationships and or people that have families. So if you have small children, etc., you want to do something fun with them, take pictures, you know, create memories, etc. This is not something that people just go to because it's in Japan and they're Japanese and this is what Japanese people do. Which is also the reason why, once again, they don't have the appropriate clothing to wear to them. Although, of course, you don't have to wear a kimono or a yukata in order to go to any of these type of festivals. You can go as you are. But of course, it's best if you are dressed appropriately for the occasion because it makes the event more fun. And last but not least, number 10, those cute little quotes and phrases that you see, those weird little quotes about, you know, fixing things that are broken and hammering down nails. Yet nobody says that shit. That's all anime, old-fashioned book talk. People say that stuff as often as Americans say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, and, you know, it's water under the bridge. Sure, we know those idioms, but I didn't know the gift horse one. I actually just learned that. But they're old. People don't say that type of stuff. It's taught culturally regardless of whether it's said or not, so people are taught the culture of those things, but these little phrases and stuff aren't used, and if you say that, it's just a little bit weird. People might laugh and think it's cute and they're funny, but yeah, this isn't common everyday talk for Japanese people. It's just a quote, it's just outdated, old, misinterpreted information online so that people can ooh and ah and be fascinated by Japan, just like people worshiping the fact that they bow despite it being a formality. So that's that. That wraps up my video. Those are 10 Japanese things that Japanese people don't even like and or do that I was actually very surprised at, with the exception, of course, with the Korean music. But we've all been taught like, oh, K-pop is so popular, everywhere in the world is taking over Japan too, blah, blah, blah. But you get what I mean. Anyway, these things really shocked me because I thought the Japanese people liked and or did these things when in actuality they don't. So, if you have anything else that I missed, because I only made a list of 10, I'm sure there's many more things, please leave them in the comments down below or feel free to ask a question about something else that you're curious about. Other than that, I would really appreciate it if you would like, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All of the links are in the description box down below, and thank you for watching. Goodbye!